Hello everybody, welcome! My name is Ursa Ryan, and today, oh boy, do I have a game for you because we've played a lot of Civilization 6 on this channel, and one of the best bits about the game is the very large amount of variation in the game. There are so many civilizations to play, so many strategies to play. No game has to be the same. However, not all strategies are exactly the same, and are all the strategies that you can play balanced? Absolutely not. With the Civ 6 time clock now beginning to tick down and Civ 7 on the horizon, I'm going to be revisiting what I think is one of the most powerful, if not broken, stratagems currently in Civ 6. It remains one of my favorites, and I can't wait to have a go again with Kristina and Sweden, one of my favorite civs to play in the game, because we're going to be playing with relics. That's right, Swedish relic spam, possibly the most powerful culture strategy in the game. Now today I aim to do two things. Firstly, we're going to have a bunch of fun by hopefully replicating what is one of the most broken setups in Civ 6. Is this a balanced setup? No. But is this absolutely hilarious? Yes, of course it is. And secondly, although Civ 6 has been out for 8 years now, there's still a huge amount of people that A, are new to the game, and B, have yet to beat deity. So this hopefully will serve as a little bit of a guide as one way you can set the game up to get your first deity difficulty victory. Will there be shenanigans and a whole huge helping of Swedish cheese in this strategy? Absolutely, but don't worry. Buried beneath all of the cheese is some really interesting game mechanics. After all, if you know how to break the game, the chances are you know how to play it. Turn your nose up at these sort of playthroughs at your own peril. Now, if you've never seen the relic spam culture victory strategy before, you'll know that it relies on a few things. Firstly, the generation of as many relics as possible. Secondly, the use of Sweden and her Minerva of the North ability, which lets you theme relics, something that is incredibly rare in Civ 6. And finally, it involves us going for a religion, and one of the least competed religions in the game, reliquaries. We'll talk a little bit more about the setup later, but just know we're playing with barb clans, heroes and legends, monopolies and corporations, and secret societies today. This game has been aggressively jury-rigged to be as funny as possible. Balanced? It is not. Just brilliant though. 6 players, rich Highlands map. That's the one that comes with the better balanced map mod, but don't worry about all that setup. All you need to do is come along to Discord. You can take this save file, copy and paste it onto your PC and play alongside me. I have a full list of mods, both user interface mods that I use to make the game a little bit more accessible, and also the gameplay mods you'll need to run this game. They're all listed on Discord. So dear audience, get yourself a smorgasbord of crispy snacks, because we're going to be sitting down and going through what possibly is my favorite strategy in Civ 6. This is a highlight reel of beauty. Get yourselves ready. Let's go. Turn 1. And this is an interesting start because we have a bunch of freshwater from 2 separate places. This lake and this lake. Oh, I lied. There's actually a little bit of a river here as well. So there are 3 places to get fresh water, which means the options to settle are numerous. Now, I can settle in place and remove that woods, but the city center tile that I will obtain will have 2 food and 1 production and won't really do too much for me. Equally, there's a few decent tiles like a 2-2, a 2-2, and a 1-3 that I can work in that first ring, but I feel there are better options. Namely, there is a cocoa source on a rainforest down here that provides a 6 yield tile. There's also citrus and sheep that provide alternative sources for a lovely 2-2 tile. There is also a plains hill tile that I could settle on turn 2 to give my capital +1 production per turn, something that makes itself up very quickly. I'm going to be moving either the warrior to the citrus tile or to the sheep. I'm most tempted by this settle, so I'm actually going to move on to the sheep, and this will reveal, well, it'll spin the map around wildly first, but then it actually does reveal a second cocoa source below me, so this is now even better a source to settle on. So yeah, we're going to move 1 tile here, discover more of the map. That is an amazing tile. It's a little far out, but that is the prized 7 yield tile that sometimes you can start next to. Alas, there is no continent split, but to be honest, this is a pretty decent settle, so we're going to go with it. And on turn 2, we will plonk down the city of Stockholm. However, ladies and gentlemen, you know that the wonderful channel supporters on Coffee and Patreon help me to do what I do best. They really do help me to make the content I want to make in the way that I make it. I'm eternally grateful for them. Thank you so much for your support. I love to name my cities after you, so welcome to the wonderful Dablu. We'll be seeing more of these pop up as we go along. Now, culture victories, culture victories. There's a few things that we need to do as a priority. Firstly, we need to go and explore the map. Now, there is a second reason why I want to explore this map. Highlands maps, they are entirely landlocked, so you physically can walk normally from one side to the other. If I can circumnavigate the globe within the first ancient era, the chances of me getting a golden age into the classical age are incredibly increased. We also want to meet everybody because the sooner I meet people, the sooner we can build good relations with them, the sooner we can open the borders and the more tourism we can throw at them. The best bit about this strategy is that it creates quite a lot of early tourism. So we are going to start to spam out some scouts in order to explore the map as quickly as possible. Research-wise, we're going to jump straight on the holy site. We want to get this religion going as soon as possible just to get it out of the way. And I also want to get my monument at some point. I'm not going to work my monument. I'm going to go for a 2 scout start. Probably going to save the 240 gold up and just to buy the monument. But the reason I want that so early is because we have heroes and legends mode on. Very powerful heroes that need a monument to summon into your empire that do 2 things. They give you a bonus, like Hercules, for instance, can build districts. We'll talk about options as we find them. But secondly, when they are destroyed, they give a heroic relic, and that relic counts towards my reliquaries bonus. So we want to get those as soon as possible. Also, buildings with at least 3 great work slots immediately count as being themed. Oh, well, a monument that has 2 extra great work slots because there is a hero in it that gives me hero relic slots. If only there was a way that I could get a 3rd slot. Oh wait, there is. Void Singers. There's a huge amount of stuff that we want to rely on and push towards in the early game, but it all requires going for scouts as soon as possible. We are in the middle of the rainforest here, which means we have a lot of good luxuries that provide a lot of gold. Very good for us into this early game. We'll hold firm and see what we end up finding, but my warrior is going to go on a little bit of an exploration. I'm going to be quite aggressive with my scouting in this game. We want to get out there. We want to find as much as we can. Samarkand, great to find them, but Void Singers is what I want, and Void Singers is found within tribal villages. We go straight for the governor. Now, I could save my governor to go for Void Singers, or we can start the Amani tour, which will help me to scout quicker, which is what I'm going to do. First governor into Amani is very rarely a bad move, and I don't believe this game is going to be one of those games where it is a bad move, so we're going to just press on that. This scout's going to go in this direction, and this one will go in the other. We'll just start to scout around really quickly. This warrior is going to explore in a ever-increasing circle around my capital, whilst my scouts do the heavy lifting of moving really far away. Now, hopefully we can find a natural wonder really quickly, but it doesn't look like that is going to be a thing. A tribal village. I'm annoyed that it took a little bit of time to find that. No, we did find one. Mount Sinai. Oh, I have Terra Mirabilis on. There you go. I think I might have left that wonder on accidentally. This is a mod that improves all of the natural wonders to give them more interesting effects and adds quite a few from the game. So Mount Sinai, I believe, was in Civ 5. Very cool. 1 tile, impossible natural wonder. Jason plots have faith. Holy sites provide +1 great person points towards great profits for the player that owns the tile. Religious units can be purchased for 20% less faith. That actually, weirdly, is going to make this strategy even more powerful than it was before. And Samarkand already is a suzerain and has found Himiko for me. So everything is being boosted there. Himiko is one of the best early heroes that you can get in the game. We're going to be trying to get her almost immediately. There is the natural wonder. It's a little bit far away from me, but if we can go and settle that, we'll have really good abilities to put apostles out. What a start. I tell you, yeah, this game is jury-rigged to have a really fun ride. Honestly, if you want a deity victory under your belt, I could not advise going for a game more than this one. Please do it. Please. What's in the tribal village? There you go. Void Singers. Now, I need to either get my monument before I get Void Singers, or we need to get Void Singers and then get the monument. What I don't want to do is put some production into the monument and then pick it, because it'll all be lost because it won't count anymore because I won't have Void Singers. It's all very weird. Just know there is a sort of rough strategy. I'll leave these barbarians alone. They may cause me a little bit of an issue. I can always use gold to solve that issue later. This warrior can also come back to deal with that encampment, but for now, this is all looking good. This Dablo is now able to start a holy site in the same turn that it finishes a scout, which is just lovely. That's a +2. I mean, really, the faith doesn't matter at all. So either I spend the gold that would get me a monument quicker, or we put the holy site down somewhere that's likely to be worse for us. We'll spend the gold for now, I think. But honestly, it's about the same in terms of whether it's useful or not. Now we have the holy site. I think the best thing we can do is get ourselves into a position to chop stuff out. So animal husbandry will unlock horses. Then we go mining to chop the woods. Then we'll probably go pottery after that point in case we need to then chop out any foodstuffs. Tribal village spotted. Yeah, really haven't found many tribal villages. This has been quite disappointing. That barbarian scout has managed to plonk itself right down on top of my holy site, which is not helpful. So I'll put a turn of settler in, but we'll need to switch that over next turn. They do that. The barbs will just come backwards and forwards just to be really annoying. It's literally sat there just to annoy me now. I hate barbarians. I really do. They're awful. Recon unit. There you go. We can actually do some damage, especially if I put the discipline card in really quickly. We'll get God King as well for the extra gold to get the monument faster. Now we can chase that off. We want to get to our government as fast as we can. In order to do that, we'll go for craftsmanship and then into state workforce. We're going to unlock all of the governors as quickly as we can. You going to move? Now you're going to move. I thought so. You cheeky thing. How dare you? Get off me. That is a mountain bowl. It cannot be escaped. That's brilliant. Some really cool defensive locations for me if I need to use them. Foreign trade boosted. Nice. And we found another continent. There's Arthur and Zanzibar, which has the first meet. So we're going to move Amani over and get another 2 era score. Yeah, you physically cannot escape this little mountain ring. That's brilliant. Somebody is below me to the right. That looks like it could be either Japan or England. It's neither. It's Persia. I'd like to speak to you of the beauty of horses. My favorite. It's my absolute favorite. Mashhad. Now, we want good relations with everybody. I'll offer him friendship first turn. No, we'll offer a delegation because he's actually only liking me -2 at the moment. So that's quite useful. Maybe we can go happy with him. He would like lots of land units. I actually do have quite a few land units and scouts and warriors and that sort of thing. Umansar Hollow, another wonder. Any civilization that owns at least one of these tiles receives a 3 inspiration upon earning a great general. Fine. Very random, but that's quite cool. It's a very, very good preservable wonder, that one. I find going Alpine on scouts as your first promotion works really well because then you can go onto hills really easily and hills let you explore quicker. It's Byzantium as my second meet. Love to sample your hospitality. They are below me to the bottom left. They like me -3, however. I'll send them a delegation as well. Again, this isn't really something that I want to be doing. Not hugely because I'm trying to save up for my monument here. But if I can make good friendship with both of them, that would be cool. Another barb camp there. That's not particularly helpful. I'll move my scout and my warrior over to try and deal with that. Animal husbandry revealed 0 horses in my lands. I kind of hoped that one of these tiles maybe had some horses on. Never mind. Oh no, I am getting horses. Where am I getting horses? Oh, it's under my holy site. Amazing. Right, this will help us to get to our monument a bit quicker. Byzantium wants me to follow the same religion as them. They're not going to like me. I'll just warn you now. Barbarian warrior. I'll bring this warrior back as quickly as I can to just to keep my holy site safe, although the scout has immediately plonked itself right on top. That is staggering how annoying that is. Absolutely staggering how annoying that is. Zanzibar's mine. So 2 extra luxuries for my city. One more turn into the settler, please. Go on, move away. Move away. There you go. And if the warrior is just going to attack my city center randomly, that's fine. Don't mind that at all. Bunch of different barbs now. Yeah, I'm just going to fortify on top of the holy site. Fine. You're going to be annoying. Just be annoying elsewhere. The holy site is finished. Instead of going for a shrine is not needed at all. What is needed is my religion. So we're going to go for holy site prayers as soon as we can. Still waiting for 240 gold. That's all we need. 240 gold. Yeah, okay. Now this is looking okay. Loads of barbs, but we have a defensive warrior back, which puts me above my normal defensive strategies. I'm terrible at getting enough troops back. Giant's Causeway. Land units trained in a city that owns at least one of these tiles starts with a 3 promotion. Amazing. And the twins. Good to see them. Here's the monument. +1 culture. Another +1 if I'm at full loyalty, which I do. So I've doubled my culture per turn. And I've now got myself the building. So when I go to Void Singers, I will pick up an Old God obelisk for 3, which is just wonderful. We haven't picked up a relic from a holy site. I think a relic from a tribal village would have been brilliant to get, but never mind. You want to buy any horses? 59. Pretty decent. What should we need for the extra warrior? 95. We'll just save up a little bit of gold. We can probably get an extra troop or 2 from these barbarians around me. That slinger is not going to be chill, so we're going to actually attack out of that tile in order to deal with that. What will happen is the warrior is probably going to just move straight onto the holy site as soon as I move away, but never mind. Here's Indonesia. Love to sample your hospitality. Excellent. -7 for her. Yeah, she doesn't like me. There's no point in sending a delegation to her. And Wilhelmina. Wanted to meet you, exchange information on capitals. You're all the way over there. Man, it's good to meet everyone, isn't it? Let's go pottery now. Holkia, we found loads of mercantile city-states, but this one I can't Amani tour into because Wilhelmina already is suzerain of that one, so we'll just move on. Now to state workforce. That governor will give us access to void singers. Pantheon. I was hoping we were going to have the option to get holy sites having rainforest adjacency because we've got so much of it around, but alas, no. We'll just have to make do with something else. Divine Spark would get us our religion quicker, which isn't a bad idea. A 3 builder would be quite good just to use some of these tiles. Maybe breathtaking appeal. How is the appeal? There's a decent chunk of breathtaking appeal, but I'm not working any of it. What would help me towards the culture victory? I mean, realistically, I just want as much faith as possible. Faith is good. Faith lets us get as many heroes in as we can. And heroes are really, really important. Actually, speaking of, now that I have my monument, we need to get a hero as soon as possible. I think Himiko is by far the best choice. She's really good. She can suzerain a bunch of city-states. She's really good for exploration. Twins would be useful in order to make a little bit of an early army. I could convert all of these barbarians, but realistically, I want to get rid of my hero as soon as possible. Yeah, let's go for Himiko. I'm thinking breathtaking appeal is not a bad option, actually. A little bit of extra faith will help me to get my heroes in later, although I would like to get my religion as soon as I can. So I'm going to go for Divine Spark. This does 2 things. It gets me +1 faith per turn once I have a prophet, because excess great person points are converted immediately into faith, but it'll give me my writers quicker, and writers just help to get me a little bit more tourism. So let's get the religion just a touch quicker. I'm going to sell my horses quickly for 100 gold, and I'm going to use that gold to take a spearman because I'd like to kill the spearman. That would be really helpful. Just having an extra troop around my lands just helps with the defense and stops the barbarians from really running circles around me, which I don't want ideally. And here is Himiko. A little bit of era score, which is wonderful, but she has the capacity to give me my first relic, which is very, very handy for me to get as soon as possible. We need 5 more era score as soon as we can get it. I knew that warrior would move immediately onto the holy site. It always happens. I'm going to move Himiko here just to try and persuade it to move across. I should have actually moved before because I would have got +5 combat strength there, but never mind. This will hopefully make the warrior attack into my hero rather than pillaging. We should expect this to get pillaged though. That's exactly what would normally happen. Don't pillage. Please don't pillage. Please don't. Yay! They couldn't help it. They attacked in instead. All right, what I want to be doing now is using all 8 of Himiko's charges. Now, they give you 3 envoys, which are really cool, but those envoys are then converted into faith if they count as excess. So I'm actually going to move you out immediately and then use you all on Samarkand. We want to get rid of Himiko as soon as possible to get the relic in as soon as possible. So we'll do this when we can. America, that's the last person. There's the Golden Age. We've met everybody. Excellent. And America immediately wants to buy my Diplo favor, which I will sell for 4 gold per turn. Yeah, let's get that in as soon as we can. A bit of economy before they decide to denounce me. Let's now get irrigation for my plantations. We have a lot to put in my city. This is a 3 barb camp kill. I think it is, you know. Oh, I'll take the gold and the era score. Thank you. So 8 charges. 1 charge from Himiko uses her ability to effectively give you a 3 envoy. If I'm already suzerain, I start to get faith as well. You want to save up that faith for next era as soon as you can. I'm just gonna hold firm on this barb camp for a few turns because I might want to get the era score in my next age, or put in the double experience card and level up my scout again. I don't know, we'll see. Indonesia likes the fact that I'm not on the shore. You're gonna love everyone on this Highlands map, I can just tell already, and the barbs are now attacking again. I'm gonna pull back to my own lands here, defend sensibly. The governor gives me Void Singers. Void Singers unlocks Melody, which means I now have a powerful old god obelisk. It's basically like a monument, but it gives 4 faith on top of its regular yields, and it has a great work slot. That is what's going to come in really handy for Sweden's ability in a bit. Now, God King is all very well and good, but I'm going to put urban planning in and survey for double experience on my scouts, because now I can get rid of this barb camp and get myself a little bit of extra. Oh, it doesn't double it. I thought it did. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Never mind. I thought it would double the experience. Now that I have 4 envoys in Samarkand, I get 50 faith for every charge that I spend in this city-state. So we can get like 250 spare faith, which is really handy. Before people denounce me because I've just joined a secret society, I'm also going to just start to take open borders from everyone. It's expensive, but you get a little bit more tourism, and I am about to start generating my first bits of tourism in the next few turns. So there we go. It's probably about 100 gold I just spent there, but I think it's absolutely worth it, and just go from that. The Golden Age. It's amazing. The Golden Age means that we can now go and pick ourselves a Golden Age policy. Monumentality is fantastic for getting settlers and builders cheaper, but my faith is going to be used on heroes. I'm not convinced that's better, but I think getting builders for gold cheaper is actually the good move. I could also go the 4 great profit points per turn, which gives me 4 extra faith. No, I think monumentality is the play. If I was going to go for really heavy commercial hub or harbor starts, that would be where I would go, but I don't need that right now. Instead, I think I'm going to settle a little bit towards Byzantium here, which I'm sure they're going to love. Or I go for the Sinai. We could go straight for Sinai, to be fair. I mean, there's so much space. I'm really not going to struggle for space in this game. Yeah, I'm actually going to go and settle up there. It's a plains hill. It has citrus as well. I think that's good. Bronze working. Time for some iron. Actually, no, we want to go writing. There are a couple of wonders that are more interesting than others. Namely, Apadana, which has 2 slots for great works, and the Great Library, which has exactly the same thing. Those are 2 that I want to be getting. So making a campus isn't a bad idea, but I think Apadana is where we want to be rushing in this city, and going a lot of shopping in this city is I think probably going to be quite handy. Last charge with Himiko. I'm going to use that charge. Instead of getting faith, I'm going to levy all of the warriors to give myself the mercenaries boost, but then I can also just let those go and explore. That will reveal the map a little bit quicker. And then Himiko is going to be ritually slaughtered, which gives me her epic. This thing has 2 culture, 2 faith, and 6 tourism. My first chunk of tourism. And there'll be a lot more where that's come from. More horses are available to be sold. Just keep an eye on that. We'll be doing that in a couple of turns. The barbs have archers now. That's not good, but I can hire an archer from them. Maybe this is indeed a good time to sell my horses. Yeah, let's get an archer in and start being able to fire back, because I don't want to let these barbs overwhelm me. That would be highly annoying. 2 of these warriors I'm going to bring back to defend my own lands. 3 of them I'm just going to say go and explore, and they'll find something for me, I'm sure. Okay, so this warrior took more damage than I kind of hoped he would. Switch you over, get you to do an attack. I might lose that warrior actually, but never mind. Here is my profit though. There's the profit. Here is the religion. Everything in this strategy relies on me going for reliquaries. Relics and heroic relics have a triple yield of both faith and tourism. Delicious. That is going to be doubled up with monastic isolation. My religion's pressure never drops due to losses in theological combat. That's going to be very important that I get that. I'll explain that one in a little bit, but here is my religion, and that means now this heroic relic is giving me 6 faith per turn, 18 tourism. 18. Delicious. We're already picking up a decent chunk of everybody. It's not enough to be gaining any real tourists. 5 tourists every 38 turns. That's effectively 1 every 7 turns. So weirdly enough, I'm almost keeping up with America like that. We don't need a huge amount of tourism to win this, but we need more than that. Let's get the currency. That unlocks the industries, which are luxury specific, awesome things. They give us merchant points and a bunch more food. Very, very fun improvement, that one. Yeah, we lost our warrior. I kind of expected that might happen. The barbs, they're a problem, but never mind. Here's city number 2. It's the wonderful onion possum. Great names. Some of these names really do make me laugh. Now, I got 50 Diplo favor there because I'm Sweden and I just got a great person. So we're going to sell it to America and use that to immediately buy myself an old god obelisk for some more faith and some more culture. We want to get all of these things up nicely. And I think I'm tempted to rush straight for another hero, but we're actually going to use a builder to do that because I'm going to chop it out. There's the world's circumnavigation. It's done. 2 archers. Lovely. There's always options to buy more barbarian Barbarian troops from around the map. We can also bribe them to keep them out of our lands if we need to. A source of cocoa. What does that sell for? 14 gold per turn. That's a huge chunk. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use that. Thank you very much. Let's get the trader in then. There's a beautiful trade route to Zanzibar that gives me an envoy, as well as 6 gold per turn, and the booster currency. All of the exciting stuff. The archer wants to just step onto that tile. Fine, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna regret it. Galapagos Islands. If you own it, you get some tortoise. I hope that's because they're just lovely to keep. Oh, Hercules. That's really handy. Some extra districts. That'd be really good to see. Never seek a land war on my continent. All right. I'll try not to, but you know me. I can be absolutely tempted by things like that. Citrus can also be sold for an obscene amount of gold. Sold for gold. Let's do it. And now that I've got the boost, because Onion Possum has got my population to 6, let's use the beautiful monumentality discount to get ourselves that settler, and we'll start heading towards Sinai. Governor-wise, we're going to go something slightly different. I'm going to go for a Moksha start into Dablu, because a little bit of extra faith is good, but extra religious pressure means that we can hopefully spread our religion to Onion Possum without needing to use a missionary, or at least get pretty close to it. Let's get that political philosophy down. That'll help. We'll see that Byzantium probably is going to send a bunch of units over to try and attack me. Fine, whatever. We've got a friendship with the Dutch. We're going to start trying to give as many people good opinions of us as we can. What about our open borders? Can we sell open borders? We can. I'm actually going to give these to people as a diplomatic salvo. I want people to have my open borders. We want to be friends with them. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, I know. 14 more gold for the cocoa. Yeah, cocoa is very cool. Hoping Byzantium doesn't try and attack me here, but the chances of that happening are pretty slim. Quite likely to attack because it's just what Byzantium does, especially now I have my own religion. All of my units nicely fortified in my lands. Moksha is already just about established, which means I actually could go for laying on of hands, which I'm going to. So now if Byzantium does attack me, all of my units heal to full health every turn. They're basically unkillable now. We have another settler, which I'm now going to move towards Byzantium. I have the army to hold them back, I think. Don't think they're gonna be stupid enough to attack. We'll see. There's another friendship, by the way. Political philosophy. Normally I'd go classical republic, but I've got Zanzibar on side, which is giving me all of the happiness that I need. I want to go for the culture victory, so I actually want the production towards wonders for Apadana. So we're gonna go autocracy. Slightly different to usual. Urban planning, then 15% extra production on wonders. Diplomatic league. All of that combined means that Apadana is only 22 turns, which is pretty decent. Let's try and get that going immediately. I apologize to my holy site immediately. I'm going to start chopping woods down around it. And really, Magnus probably would have been good for this chopping, but never mind. This is my Mount Sinai settlement. I want to actually own the tile. So I'm going to not settle on the T. We're actually going to settle one tile over. This actually has the double effect of putting extra faith underneath my city center. So there's a really good combo there. RB Hedge, look after this city, please. It's a good one. Actually, give yourself an old god obelisk immediately and go for builder. We're going to start chopping out some heroes soon. Now, we've got to 33 faith per turn, or just above it, which is the critical number because most ages are about 30 turns and you need about 1,000 faith to bring a hero back. So you want about 33 faith per turn per hero to bring them back every age. It's a funny old calculation, but that's kind of the one we're rocking at the moment. Torres del Pane. Any city that owns at least one of these tiles can build an extra district. And Sinbad. Sinbad is not particularly helpful on this map, I'll warn you now. Sorry to any Sinbad lover out there. I know Sinbad's brilliant, not that useful on this particular map, but what are you gonna do? So the next hero, slash the only hero that we need to get, is now Hercules. Let's chop Hercules out, shall we? 3 chops and we should be just about there. Let's put an industry on this cocoa and look at that perfect symmetrical tile. 4 food, 4 production, 4 gold. It's delicious. It's wonderful. And I've now got +1 merchant points per turn, which isn't a huge amount, but I'm sure we'll figure that out in a bit. The Great Library was built very quickly. Slightly unfortunate that, but hey, what can you do? It's fine. We're building up Adana instead, which is getting there slowly. Oh, King Arthur is making his way over to the front line with 60 strength. I mean, that's terrifying. I was going to try and settle on that resource, but I think Byzantium is increasingly disappointed with me. Never mind. Never mind. We'll find a way. We'll find a way to rebel in some fashion. I'm going to go straight for swordsman. I feel like I'm going to need a tough unit to defend myself here. Although maybe horseback riding is the easier option because I actually have a bunch of horses. Yeah, I thought about it. And I've come to a different conclusion. Sorry, Holy Sight. I'm just chopping all of this out, but we really need Apadana. Byzantium are absolutely gearing up to attack me here. I mean, they couldn't be any less subtle about it, could they? They're just approaching menacingly. Hercules is actually going to help in this situation. Hercules will be incredibly powerful. Apadana, 2 envoys. Whenever I build a wonder, including this wonder in a city, but the best bit about that wonder is it's got 3 spaces for great works. Hold that space. We're seeing a lot more of where that comes from. Oracle would be handy in this situation, but we're going to go for the shrine quickly. Unless I want to go for Agogi. Thinking about it, Agogi might be the play here. Let's put the writer cards in. Go Agogi. Get ourselves some archers. We'll sling a spam anyway so that we can get archers in a second. I feel like this is going to be more needed than I would like to admit. And with my Agogi, my Apadana envoys, we're going to put one into Anshan. Sun Wukong is a fantastic find. Unlock theology for the temple. Just depends on whether we can survive another attack or 2. Yeah, Byzantium. Oh, did you see that? They just lost Arthur. That's a really bad time to lose Arthur because now you have an epic. How much do I need to spend to buy this from you? Okay, first turn, it's often worth like an infinite amount of money because they refuse to sell it. Second turn, though, I think we can do this. Let's go for Hercules immediately. The funny thing about my religion is that I don't actually need a bunch of holy sites to make it work. In fact, actually, the holy sites give me barely anything. I'm thinking rushing theatre squares is probably a better play. So let's rush some theatre squares instead. Pop it down on this random hill tile. Hercules will finish that next turn for 3. Bandar Brunei. There are so many mercantile city-states. I'm now actually regretting not going for a commercial hub. That would have been the sensible thing to do, wouldn't it? City number 4. Garrett Gowan. Sell the luxury immediately. Just get it all sold. Immediately buy in the old god obelisk for the culture. We'll think to get the theatre square done in a second. First theatre square is done. And suddenly the Epic of Arthur has a price. I'm tempted to pay in gold per turn because then if Byzantium does go to war with me, I get it back. How much would it be? 49 gold per turn. That's half of my gold, but it is totally worth it. There you go. In fact, actually, now I could always declare war on Byzantium instead. But now I have 2 heroic relics. My tourism is up. We're going to be gaining a tourist every 40 turns. Oh yeah, because there's a lot of different religion, tourism, pressure, resistance there, but that's fine. We're pushing now. Need as many of these relics as we can get our little mitts on. I've sold enough stuff to now be able to get the amphitheater for a little bit of culture, but also now +2 writer points per turn. Because don't forget my Pantheon. My Pantheon gives me even more. Yeah, there's the war. Byzantium literally declared war on me, so I get all of my gold per turn back. That is 100% their fault. They did not have to do that. That was not me rigging that one. Just so you know, I maintain they very much fell into my trap on that. So a lot of city-states have now declared war on them, and I'm going to just go and do the works and see if anybody else wants to join in with this war, because I think this is unjust. People might want to join in with it, and I'm not paying for people to join in with it, but if anyone wants to join in for 3, you're welcome. No one wants to join in. That's probably understandable. Garrett, you might need to be retrieved in a second. I won't lie. It's looking slightly precarious for you, but they left my unit in their land, which is quite funny. Oh, they're going to spread their religion to me. That's really not good. Oh, I can't have that at all. Hercules is going to move to Garrett Gowan, which puts basically infinite strength in the city, which is wonderful. And yeah, look at that. Byzantium has actually converted Garrett over. It's not the end of the world, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that because we do not want my cities to flip. Better get a missionary out, eh? At least Eastern Orthodoxy doesn't have crusade on it. That's one small benefit. If I'm really plucking at straws here. Oh, this is just a bit of fun. I can buy a man-at-arms. Oh, but it went over to Arby Hedge rather than Garrett. Oh, that's not fun at all. Rubbish. I thought we were going to game the system there. Then this is clearly a closer city. I don't know about that. There's levied warriors just starting to pillage really helpfully. And that means we can get Himiko back. That's a bit of era score, but also some lovely combat strength in this area. Okay, Miss Spearman is holding their ground pretty nicely at the moment. So now I'm getting a bit more faith. We can start to think about using that faith on actual builders and settlers and all the usual stuff that monumentality would give us, because we haven't been able to do that very much so far. More heroes are being claimed. Basil just claimed Oya. Amazing. That's their second hero. You might see Oya coming onto the battlefield, which is not ideal. If we can kill Oya, that's another heroic relic, and we can buy that one as well. I mean, we already know Byzantium is willing to spend a lot of gold going to war when you really don't need to. Okay, slight bad thing. Samarkand is throwing units in, which isn't helpful, because if those are killed, they also spread religion, and I don't want Byzantium to be spreading their religion to me. We've got a couple of missionaries that are now out, so don't worry. We're actually spreading my own religion for the first time, but I don't want to take the risk, you know? I don't want them to be doing too much to me. I'm gonna try and go for the twins now. This is 260 production, so 6 chops. We actually have the chops around here, so start to get those done. Yep, killing city-state units, spreading their religion to me. Highly annoying, but something that could have been expected, and I should have really probably dealt with. Never mind. A horseman! Now I have some actual strength. My cities are not as weak as they were before. Excellent. I know it's the middle of war, but we can still use Hercules to make some theater squares at the same time. This is totally legit. We've actually repelled pretty much the main, if not only, invasion that Byzantium is going to send over, which is wonderful. I'm going to start burning my Himiko charges for more faith. These are all incredibly useful. Another theater square. So I've got 3 theater squares from Hercules now. We'll go for the amphitheater. A great writer. The first, hopefully, of many. We're now getting 9 points per turn. Annoyingly, there's like 5 turns less than we need to make sure that all of these classical era writers are being used, which is unfortunate. We need as many of these in the game as we can to get as much early tourism. We're starting to get our first tourists, speaking of, so you can see Persia was the first one to give us one. We're getting a tourist every 18 turns with them. It's good, but it needs to be a lot higher. Just unlocking feudalism, then we're going to go down to Roche Mont Saint Michel. At that point, then we can start really generating them like a huge amount. And finally, a very special shout out goes to Glorious Petra, Matthew Wilkinson, Paul Coffey, Portland, Clint Hennis, The Nickerman, Daddy Bear Todd, Toon General, Civilized, Capo Yobby Vireni, The Uncivil Engineer, Lillian, Radiatore, Scott Stratton, Major King Kong, Skeptical Bear, Cinnamon Beard, Private Selection, Genoa Salami, Callum Billy, Garrett Gowan, El Truant, Creston, RB Hedged, Mushkin Mandletort, Burial, I'm Daft, Gooberman, Dr. Bobby, Mixomatosis, NTG Golfman, Indigenous 68, Technology Poet, Teddy Zursa, Saf, Barnaby Rex, Charlie Bears, Flying Dutch Burbs, Nate the Great, Alex Frost, Mean Penguin, Interplanet Janet, Frankincense Battlezord, Bookaluk 79, Bob Loblaw, Geography Teacher, Juvara, Hal Carnassus, Morax, Sinikush, Echo Bear, Deja Vu, Kovuwu, Legally Trash, Is This Live, Twin Cam Inferno, Martin S, Minnow, Sorted Dutch, Rad Bickley, Shadow of Gaia, Flower Power Bear, Poppy Dude, Dan Jamo. Thank you everyone for your support. Goodbye!